Okay, well, good evening, and thank you for joining our YTM6 cooking class tonight. My name is Nat McFarlane, and I am the Business Development Manager that looks after the Hills District and right up to the Central Coast. And I'm joined by the lovely Bev Smith, who is a team leader in the Hills District in Sydney, and Kyra, who is a team leader in the Central Coast area. So I'm just going to let one person in. And tonight we're really going to show you just some really short, sharp dishes that can be made in the Thermomix, the TM6. I would love for you to pop in the chat. Hello, Kelly, how you going? I'd love for you to pop in the chat. Are you currently a Thermomix owner? And if you are, what model of Thermomix do you currently run? And if not, this class is the perfect class for you because I'll show you some great benefits of TM6. So a little bit of a background story on me. I started very casually about 8 years ago. I was a busy mum of girls and a husband who worked overseas, and I fell in love with the Thermomix. And we've got a couple of non-owned owners. Welcome, and a TM5 owner. Yes, I will make Kyra a host. So a little bit about my story. I quickly saw a Thermomix and realised that everyone needed one. It made life so much easier in my kitchen. I actually could set and forget meals and go and spend time with my children. I wasn't cleaning pots and pans up in the kitchen. And very quickly, I thought that everyone needed a Thermomix. Everyone needed to have those free hands in the kitchen. So I found out how to become a Thermomix consultant, thought that I would do this very casually as a bit of a side hustle. Fast forward 8 years and I flipped my career from an event manager working long hours and weekends to now having a flexible role as a business development manager with the company. So that's my story in a bit of a nutshell. And I'm just going to quickly ask Bev and Kyra to share their stories because everyone joins for different reasons, and we'd love for you to hear why we love what we do here at Thermomix. So, Bev, over to you.
Yeah, hi. I'm a nurse, and I was at work one day, and one of my colleagues was a particularly good cook, and whenever I saw her in the lunchroom, I would admire everything she cooked. It was great. And she said one day, would I like to share some soup? And I said, yes, please. I'm sitting down enjoying a bowl of soup. And I said, Jane, what's in your soup? There's something, you've got a secret ingredient. And it was the vegetable stock paste, which is something that we make in the Thermomix. And that took me on a new journey in my life for 11 years. And I'm still with Thermomix. I'm still barely a nurse, not for much longer. But the day after I had that bowl of soup, I needed a Thermomix, and it was a TM31. And I asked Jane how I did that, and I ordered one. And straight away I thought, I didn't know about it. How many others don't know about the Thermomix? So I became a consultant immediately as well. I wanted to know whatever I could do around this Thermomix, I'm doing it and I'm in. So it's the most incredible machine. And I always thought when I had a TM31, I thought they couldn't possibly make anything better than this. I've arrived. I've got the best of the best in the kitchen. Yeah. And little did I know what was coming. And that was the TM5 and even then the TM6, which is a whole new level. So I've enjoyed my journey. I've been a team leader. I've been a consultant to start with, team leader. There's a progression if you want that. And I've also been a business development manager, and now I'm sitting in the team leader role. It's just a great thing to do, and we have a lot of fun. You have either part-time fun or full-time fun, whatever you choose. But along the way, you become an amazing cook, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to be a really good cook. If I'm paying and investing in a Thermomix, I want to be able to use it well. So that's why we exist. That's why we're in our role. Our role is to support customers to become experts in their Thermomix and using all the functions. And we're going to show you a few of those tonight. But that's my story. And it's just, yeah, it's a great thing to do. I can highly recommend it, but even more highly recommend that you have a Thermomix in your kitchen. It changes a lot of things for you in a big positive way.
Yeah, they've been a bit neglected this holidays. It was only really the Easter that we spent time with them. We've both been like flat out like trying to get those.
That's okay. We just had someone that wasn't on mute, so I just muted them. So they're clearly multitasking, listening to our Zoom and talking on the phone as well. So, all right, Kyra, we would love to hear your story.
So do you want me to get started? Because quickly, Ian, we're in a 5-minute cook, so then I can tell my story if that's all right.
Let's do that. Amazing.
So what I've done is I've actually saved, and I want to say a quick hello to Sue, who has actually upgraded this week and before even seeing this. And I was so excited. She sent her TM31 away that afternoon, and I got a dispatch notice, I believe, today. So it's not far away, Sue.
Nat, could you make me a co-host and I can then spotlight so we can see?
You are a co-host. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So what I've done on my TM6 is I've actually saved this. I'm just going to go back to our home. This is our screen where we actually have our time, temperature, and our speed of our blade. So this is what you would normally find on your TM31s for those that already have a TM31. And I'm actually now moving into my screen, and I've already saved my recipes from our amazing Cookie Do recipe platform app. I've actually added it to my week. So I've actually had done a bit of cooking today. So that's actually, this is one of the recipes. Sorry, I just did that. I'm doing the chicken teriyaki now. So I can select that and just have a look at it on the screen. We can actually scroll up and we can look at the full recipe. You probably can't see that quite as well, but like a book. So you get the full recipe on that page, or we can press start cooking and we can move straight into the recipe. So the first step is it's asking for 10 grams of olive oil, and my scales are already incorporated into the machine to actually come up straight away. So I don't actually have to turn them on or weigh this into another container on scales separate from the machine. It's all built in. So I've just popped in some olive oil, and now I'm popping in 250 grams of just sliced up chicken thighs, and press next. And what I'm going to do now is pop on my lid. And then with the TM6, because it goes up to such a high temperature, much higher than the TM31 or TM5, we actually have what we call a splash guard. So that's going to go on the top there instead of our measuring cup or our simmering basket. We press done, and then I literally just have to turn the dial because it's already set the time for me. So no thinking involved. If you've had a really busy day at work and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to cook dinner now. Like this will save your life because there's no thinking involved except for choosing the recipe and having the ingredients ready to go in your fridge and pantry. So my story. So I don't know if you can hear, and I'll be quiet for a second. You can hear it like sizzling like on a fry pan. Can you hear that? Let me know if you can hear it. But anyway, it's acting like a fry pan right now. So my story is my sister's had a Thermomix for about 14 years. And I thought she was crazy when she bought it. I thought $2,000 for one machine. What was she thinking? My goodness, she didn't even really cook. So I was like, this is crazy. And then she invited me to go to a demonstration. I turned up late. And I didn't like the party plan thing. So I turned up late, didn't want to eat the food because I thought I was being rude. And then I left early. So just my head wasn't in that space. And so I was really bad guest at that demonstration. forward jump another couple of years, my children by that stage hadn't been diagnosed with anything, but I just really wanted to eliminate the allergies and the allergen foods, like get rid of all the processed foods out of their diet, get rid of preservatives and additives. So I went along to another demonstration and checked it out and took my husband with me, and we decided to buy. So it was a TM31, so nearly 10 years ago. And I was like, my husband was like, this is amazing. This is not a want, this is a need. Let's get it. So we purchased it. And when I received it, I had sold 3 to my friends just by saying, come and check this out. It's so cool. But just step back a little bit. Why I became a consultant was not only had I sold 3 in 3 weeks to my friends just by showing them what it could do for my consultant then said, Kyra, you are doing so good at this. You need to do this. And I was like, no, Rach, I am not going to do that. That's ridiculous. Why would I want to get involved with that? I don't like going to parties. I don't like doing the Tupperware thing. I just don't like it. It's not me. And she's like, yeah, you give it a go. Look what you've already done. You've already sold 3 for me. That could be your income. And I'm like, oh, really? Anyway, I got off the phone and I went into my husband. He was sitting on the lounge and I just laughed and said, oh, you'll never guess. Rachel thinks that I should become a consultant. And he turned around to me and I thought he would agree with me. And he said, no, what's the worst thing that could happen, Kyra? You could actually learn how to use your machine that you've just paid $2,000 for. That is literally the worst thing that could happen. What if you sell a few? That'll be all right. But if you don't, you're going to learn how to use your Thermomix just from all the training that you do. So I signed up, just gave it a go, and I have not left. I've loved it. Within 5 months, I gave up my full-time job, and I've done that ever since. Absolutely loved it. Traveled the world. It has been absolutely amazing. So can you see the steam coming out there now? It's actually quite hot, so it's at our maximum temperature and it's sizzling away in there. So what I'm going to do next, we can actually preview what we're going to do next, which is remove the chicken from the bowl and pop it into one of these trusty thermoservers. So for those who've had a TM31, they're a slightly shallower dish. These ones are a little bit bigger now because we actually have the bigger bowl on the TM6 than what we did on the TM31. So that's a great thing, because lots of people say, oh, I don't know how you feed heaps of people out of this. I am telling you, I can feed loads of people. Like, I mean, when my family get together, I can feed at least a dozen out of my one Thermomix, and using the oven as well, I might add, but I can do at least a meals for 15 people, and generous sizing too. So what we're doing tonight is the chicken teriyaki, which is kind of like a honey soy chicken, I guess you could say. But yes, we are using the high heat on there, and this high heat is something that's not actually on the previous models, and that's why we have this splash guard. So we're going to remove the chicken in a second. You can preview right through the recipe just to see what's next. But we've got a second to go, so let's move it along. I don't know if you noticed the TM31 has an interesting sound. So there's our chicken all cooked off. So I'm going to use my tongs just to remove that chicken. And we're going to keep the juices of the from the chicken in the actual bowl. We're not going to transfer that to the thermoserver. The thermoservers are fantastic because they keep your food hot or cold for at least 2 hours, if not longer, in some dishes.
And how can our guests get a thermoserver for themselves?
Hosting. You just got to host a demonstration. It's really easy. Have you and two people, an extra 2 guests come and have your consultant come around. You learn more from your consultant and what she teaches you, because every time you see the Thermomix in action, you're going to learn a new tip or trick, guaranteed. So there's our chicken. Now that probably doesn't seem like a lot. And for me personally, we would go back the step and do another lot of the chicken. That's just me, but you don't have to do that. And now what we're going to do is scrape the bottom. So definitely a thermo server is a must when you have a Thermomix. They come in so handy. You really want to collect them all, and they're all host rewards. So host a demonstration, invite 2 of your friends around, allow your consultant to teach you more, and then you can benefit from grabbing a thermo server at a reduced price or free if someone purchases at your demo. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually not using echalotts, because echalotts are those tiny little onions. We don't always have them in our cupboard. So I try to use and substitute recipes with what I've got. So I just used a small onion, which is perfectly fine to do. And I've got some chopped up red capsicum. If you didn't like that, you could put in whatever things you like. So maybe even the baby corn or something like that would suffice. We've got some carrot cut up into battens. You could do it into whatever shapes you really like. And again, when I'm doing this for my family, I'll add extra vegetables as well. But I'm following the recipe to a T tonight, but you can substitute, you can tweak things. The TM6 makes it really easy to do tweaking as well. And we can teach you those sorts of things at your cooking demonstrations and other cooking classes. So now I'm just popping in some broccoli, including the stalks. I'd like to waste things, so the stalks are going in too today. And we're going to pop in just a little bit more olive oil. Beautiful. Next. And again, we're going to pop on our lid with our splash guard. And we're going to cook away for another 5 minutes. So in this 5 minutes, you're going to get to learn more about the TM6. So take it away, Nat and Bev.
Thanks, Kyra. Okay, well, Bev, we might move over to you, and you can give us a little bit of knowledge about fermentation and making your own yogurts in the Thermomix.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but yogurts have really gone up. When I go down that cold aisle, I look at how much yogurts are. Those little tiny pouches are like nearly $2.
Yes.
So this is a really great and cost-effective way.
Yes. I've actually known of a consultant who paid off her Thermomix just on her savings with yogurt. She had about 4 kids and they were eating a lot of yogurt. Now, never in my lifetime did I think I'd make yogurt. The Thermomix has given me an avenue to make a lot of things I never thought I'd make. So yogurt, when I used to make it in the TM31 or the TM5, was quite a process. I would have to, do the mixing of the milk with the little bit of yogurt, pot set yogurt, a little bit of sugar I'd put in mine, and a bit of milk powder. Sorry. And then once it was all mixed up and it settled down, I'd put it in a bowl, and then I'd wrap it in like a quilt, because it said so. I'd wrap it up in a quilt, and then I'd find a spot in the house where no one was going to go near it, and I'd put a big sign on it, do not touch, because it needed to sit there and ferment over a period of time in an environment that was suitable for that. But the TM6 allows me not to have to get out a quilt and not to have to hide the yogurt somewhere. It all happens in the TM6 in the fermentation mode. So fermentation is when it's in an environment with a particular temperature, an environment that is provided by the Thermomix 6 to allow it to ferment. It needs that environment for it to happen. So I wasn't going to keep you here for 10 hours while I make yogurt. So I actually made it this morning, and all day long I timed it right so that it would be finished during the class. So it did just finish sorry, can you see? It finished, and I am taking it out. I will take it out in a sec, but before I do that, I just want to walk you through what I did to get to that process. Can you see that clearly, everyone?
Yeah, we can, Bev.
Okay, so when I start cooking, it says to place a small bowl on top and weigh in some yogurt. And it needs to be pot set yogurt. And you can buy these little Jalna. There's a couple brands, and I buy that in the supermarket. That's as much yogurt as I need. In fact, I only use about a third of it. So that's going to create 3 lots of yogurt. And I may not even need to use that. I can use the portion of the yogurt that I've just made to make the next batch. So I weigh out the yogurt, set it aside, and I put a litre of milk, full cream milk, into my jug. And then without the measuring cup, I'm going to cook it for about 10 minutes at 80 degrees. So it just cooks away for 10 minutes. Okay, then this is where you need to time it well. You have to allow it to cool down to 45 degrees, and you will see it. It will tell you the temperature. You just put a bookmark the recipe, and it will tell you exactly what the temperature is, and you keep an eye on it. And once it reaches that 45 degrees, which takes about 45 minutes, that's when you add a bit of that milk and to sort of stir around the yogurt that you'd weighed up earlier, and you put that into the milk. You add some full cream milk powder, which I have always just for yogurt, a little bit of caster sugar that's optional, but I put that in. I like it to have a little bit of sweetness. Insert the measure cup, you mix that up, and then you pour it into the white thermal serving bowl. They have created this amazing thermal serving bowl, which I am going to get out now. It's full of yogurt. It's got about a litre and a bit of yogurt in here. So I'm just grabbing it out. Oops. Can you see this lovely bowl? Now, again, you can't buy these. You need to host to get one of these. We do encourage hosting for 3 reasons. One, that you get to know more about your Thermomix. As Kyra was saying, you're going to learn a whole lot more about using it. 2, we reward you for hosting. And at the moment, you can potentially get yourself a second Thermomix bowl in this month through hosting. We can explain more of that, but you can get a second bowl, which is amazing, for $99. And the 3rd reason, the most important reason, I believe, is that you're bringing in people to discover the Thermomix. Because I know when I discovered it, I'd never heard of it. And I didn't, I don't think people should ever be, missing out on the opportunity to discover it and choose to buy. Okay, so we've poured it into the thermal serving bowl, which is the white Thermomix. You rinse the bowl well, and you add water, because this water is going to very, very gently steam this yogurt over the next 10 hours. What's important to add into the water is lemon juice. When you're doing any long cook, and that could be a slow cooking, which the TM6 has. Over the years, people say to me, does it slow cook? And I say, oh, no, but you get the results that are similar. This Thermomix model slow cooks. It's amazing. So why do you need to put lemon juice in? Because you're cooking over about 10 hours, and anything that's lengthy, like slow cooking, the recipe will ask you to put in about 30 grams of lemon juice to stop oxidization and any issues that could happen with your bowl. It prevents it completely. Okay, so you put the Varoma dish that I just showed you into the thermoserver. It's another thermoserver that I've got, and it just sits inside. This is designed exactly to fit here inside. You don't use the tray, but you put the lid on like that. And then you pop it up on top of your Thermomix. If you don't want to use this, Thermomix have they offered 8 of these beautiful little glass jars, and I often use these more than that because I like these to be in the fridge. So whoever's visiting, or if it's me and my husband, we can just pull out some yogurt, and we very often have some lovely fruit topping that we've made, and it sits in the fridge ready for us to eat. So you get eight jars, and I think they're only about $16 to buy these jars. They're great. Okay, so then you put it into position, and this is when the 10 hours at that exact temperature of 70 degrees, the fermenting starts. Now you've got to be careful because you don't want it to wake you up at 3 a.m. So you've got to time it properly so that it will wake you at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. You've just got to look at what time you go to bed, or I actually did this during the day. My husband was home all day, I wasn't, and I said, just make sure no one touches the Thermomix because it's actually quietly in the background making yogurt. Okay, so then you get to where we're up to right now. So what I'm doing is I've removed it, then I'm going to pop it in the fridge for 4 hours, but I just want you to see what's in there. It's just beautiful. It's not quite, it will thicken a little bit more by sitting in the fridge. Can you see that? There's about a litre, just over a litre of beautiful, thick, creamy yogurt. And you can make dairy-free yogurt. There's recipes for that. You can make soy yogurt. There's all sorts of different yogurts. Now, there's a couple more things to tell you about fermentation, but I think Kyra's probably ready. Are you? Yeah, I'll come back and I want to tell you a couple more things about that mode. All right, so we'll you on spotlight.
So basically that's just cooked for another 5 minutes. So literally 10 minutes, 12 minutes with that all prepped. But how delicious and fresh and glossy do those vegetables look? They're not overcooked. They are perfectly cooked. All right. So what we're going to do now is pop those into with the chicken. Let me just get my spatula and remove just a little extra bits floating around. As you can see, we've got a little bit of caramelization on the bottom of the bowl. What we're going to do is I'm going to scrape that with my spatula just to get a little bit of it off, because that's where all the flavor is. And what I love about our TM6 is we actually can clean our Thermomixes in the bowl. So I've done that, scraped it. It says not to clean it, do anything else except for just to give it a bit of a scrape. Now I've got some ginger and some garlic cloves, and we're going to just chop those up. Let me put the lid on that thermo server to keep that chicken and veggies nice and warm. And we're going to pop our lid on, and we're just going to chop that up for 8 seconds on speed 7. And it's taking a little bit to start up because it's still at 75 degrees. So that bowl is still quite hot. So we have a safety feature in our Thermomixes now that doesn't allow us to go up to high speeds with contents in there that, yeah, there we go. We've chopped all of our garlic and ginger up. So yeah, you'll hear it. It takes a little bit to start off, but that's just a safety feature with our new model. All right, so now what we're going to do is put some tamari in. I've got that here. So 70 grams of tamari, which is gluten-free soy sauce. So you can use soy sauce if that's what you've got in your pantry. Beautiful. I've gone slightly over, but the Thermomix is just really forgiving. And even if I do a clumsy little slip up of extra couple of grams, it's really not going to matter. The other thing is with this Thermomix is the TM5 and the TM31, which is our previous models that we launched here in Australia, they actually go up in 5-gram increments for the scales. This one is more precise, and not just in temperature, but also with the scales. And we go in 1-gram increments, which is very handy as well. We're going to pop in some corn flour. So just 2 teaspoons of gluten-free corn flour and 2 teaspoons of water. Give me a second. Now what I'm going to do is just hit the 3 dots on my screen and go to my scales, and a teaspoon's roughly 5 grams. So I'm just going to pop in 10 grams or just slightly over of water. It's 11 grams. And then pop my lid on, and where's my simmering basket? We've got our simmering basket. You'll notice that they've got a lid on them, and I'll explain why in a second. Put that on. Now that's going to cook for 3 minutes now. So that's your sauce. So you've got in your thermo server the chicken, the veggies, all in there. Like I said, when I'm feeding my family of 4, I will double the chicken and I will double the vegetables. And still it's perfect every single time. It is amazing, this recipe.
And Kyla, roughly how much would that cost you, do you think, doubling it?
Doubling, oh, well, it's what, 500 grams of chicken thighs. So that's probably about what? How much is that at the moment? Probably about 12, so $6 plus a few veggies. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't cost $15. Like,
That's right. And to feed your family from a takeaway, you'd need probably 3 of those takeaway containers, right? With some rice. And that would cost over $50.
Over $50.
Easily.
Huge saving doing this. And like I said, just because the recipe says put capsicum in, you might have a can of those baby corn. Throw that in, drain it off and pop it in. I've done it before. It comes up beautiful. You might want to put celery in there. Like, it doesn't matter. Just use what you've got in your crisper. And yeah, add extra veg. Put some noodles on the side. Put rice on the side so it goes even further. Honestly, huge savings when you've got a Thermomix on your bench. Absolutely huge. So I was explaining that the simmering basket now has a lid. That's because with the modes of cooking, we've got sous vide, and we need to keep the bags of produce, whether it be meat or vegetables or fruits, down in underneath that lid. So that's what that's there for. So that's just another thing, is that when you're looking at the comparisons of TM31s to TM6s, we had, like, what did we have? We had the dough function to knead our dough. We had our, what else did we have? I'm trying to think of the modes. Dough function and...
The egg boiler mode?
No, not on the TM31.
Oh, the TM31, sorry.
We just had scales, the dough function, and the turbo function.
Yeah, turbo.
So,
that's it.
yeah, so, but with this, we started off with 4 when it was introduced, but just like your mobile phone, when there's an update to be done to the software, it's done remotely through your Wi-Fi, and we've got lots and lots of more things like warm-up mode, which is going to be perfect in winter for, like, you know, when you've got your leftover soups or stews or curries, you'll be able to pop them in here, set the temperature, and it literally will keep stirring that soup or that curry or whatever around in that bowl and get it to, so it's consistently warm throughout the whole dish. Not like when you put it in the microwave and just around the edges are warm. It's consistently warm throughout the whole dish. So that's what I love about our modes. They're just getting better and better and better. So now all I've got to do, how quick was that? So 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You could have prepped this before you went to work or the night before. And when you've got a really busy day or busy night when you've come home, you can have this done and on the table in less than 20 minutes. I'm telling you, it is phenomenal. So there's our sauce. I'm just scraping down the sides with our new spatula that's a bit softer than the older ones. So it's good for this kind of thing. And now I'm just going to pour that over the top of my vegetables and our chicken. Like, literally, it'd be like, now you could do rice and veg this, and like it'd be like feed 4 people for $20, like in 20 minutes kind of thing. Look at that. I'm just going to stir all that through. Huge.
This is a favourite in our house because it's just so fresh.
It's so fresh.
And we mix it up. We have sometimes rice and sometimes we have those rice noodles, like the flat rice noodles with it.
And then I'm just going to sprinkle some sesame seeds on the top. Bit of coriander if you wanted to, and we are done. How quick and easy is that? So what I'm going to do now is just quickly show you how we clean it. So let me just grab some water. So I'm just putting enough water to cover my blade. but not completely. A tiny little dash of dishwashing liquid. And again, we're going to go into our amazing new modes of cooking. Scroll across, and where are we? It's usually right at the beginning. And we've got different, like depending on what you've done in it, if you've done dough in it, you want to put on the dough mode. I'm just going to pop it onto our universal and let it do its thing. So I can then serve, this is what I normally do, is put it on the clean mode, serve out my dinner, and then when I've finished dinner, I can come back, pour the mucky water down the sink, give it a hot rinse, and pop it back on my base of my Thermomix ready to go again. So it's super easy to use, super easy to create beautiful dishes, and then it cleans itself. It's just getting better and better.
Thank you, Kyra, and that looks absolutely delicious. And we've been going for just over half an hour, and you've started that dish. I've introduced everyone. Bev's talked about fermentation, and you've got a main dish up and ready to serve up in less than half an hour. So that is amazing. Thank you. Bev, I believe you wanted to
just a couple more things about fermentation. It can all sorry, I'll just remove spotlight and do again. Spotlight. Okay, so there are plenty of recipes. The search bar on the TM6 is very good, and if you put in the word fermentation, you can bring up all sorts of recipes, but also collections. But you can use fermentation to prove a dough. You can put in 250 of water in your bowl, create your dough, wrap it up into a thermomat, and just pop it into the into the varoma, and leave it for 1 to 2 hours, and just turn the fermentation mode on, and it will prove the dough perfectly in the environment of the temperature that it needs to be. You can also ferment vegetables. Initially, fermentation was just about yogurt, but Thermomix Cookie Do keeps bringing in more recipes, and we've got a whole lot of recipes around fermenting vegetables now as well, which gives some really good gut bacteria. It's something I need to read a whole lot more on, but it reduces body inflammation, having fermented vegetables. It's the bacteria that is really good for your body, the good stuff. So look, we've got other things to show you. We're going to show you some honeycomb making in a sec, but I just wanted to just take a spoon of this yogurt. Can you see it? Hang on, I'll tip it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my favorite bit.
I love this. I know. I'm going to just take a scoop. And can you see that nice piece of yogurt? Or it's dripping out a bit, but I'm going to pop it into a bowl, and I'm going to probably put a little bit of, I don't know, some fresh fruit. This is great to have for breakfast, and to have it already made, you know, in your fridge all the time. And it's so easy. It's so inexpensive, so tasty and good for you. So yes, that's the yogurt, and it's just something I love to make. I make it quite often. All right, I think we can move.
Yes, amazing. And we also love to throw a little bit of coconut, almonds, dates, and a fresh apple into the Thermomix, and blitz that up in a couple of seconds, and then pop that on top of the yogurt, and it absolutely tastes delicious and is a great snack. Or a great.
There's one more thing. Do you mind if I just mention? I was reading about it today. You know, you can buy yogurt in a drink. Well, I can just blend that up now for about 5 seconds on speed 5, and you've got a pouring yogurt. You just pour it into a bottle, and you've got a liquid yogurt that you can drink, because that would save a lot of money too. They're not cheap to buy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the lovely Eve has just put the recipe in of the Kader, which is the fresh muesli I was just talking about that I make when I sprinkle over the yogurt. Thank you, Eve. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to share a video of the honeycomb. So this is one of our amazing consultants in Bev's team that has put this lovely video together. So I'm going to share the screen and the sound, and cross my fingers that technology works for us. So let's go. What do we think about that? Has anyone tried the honeycomb TM6 inside the honeycomb?
I have.
You nods? No? I absolutely give it a go because it really is amazing. And you can go that next step further and dip it in chocolate and have a bit of a crunchy or a violet crumble going on. Absolutely. Yes, it's amazing chocolate. I agree. Yes. So tonight we have showed you fermentation. We've made a really quick dinner using the high heat function of the TM6. And we have showed you the high heat of making honeycomb in the TM6. Now, these are just 3 really short snippets of what the TM6 can do. So if you are currently a TM31 owner looking to upgrade, you may have heard that our trade-up offer has come back for a very short period of time. So I just wanted to share a brief image with you now. If you are a TM31 owner and thinking about upgrading, we do have this amazing offer where you can trade up your TM31 to our beautiful TM6, and you'll also receive an amazing butter, and that's valued at $190. So if that's you and you have considered for a while, but now's the time, I would love for you to reach out to us. I will send you a follow-up in after this and share the links and you know, the contact. But also, whoever invited you, reach out to them as well. Now, Kyra, you have the cutter handy, don't you? Yes. Yeah. So, Kyra, you did cut up some of the vegetables tonight and that before?
I can do that for you if you want me to. Just quickly.
Just really quickly, have you got something really quickly that you can show us?
So I'm just going to put in this into the bottom of my bowl.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
Sorry.
I'm dirtying your bowl again.
That's okay. That's why I've got plenty of bowls. They come in.
It won't dirty the bowl.
Oh, that's right. It won't dirty the
inside.
bowl. It'll dirty
Yeah.
the cutter holder. That's right. You're on the ball, Bev.
To us all, isn't it, Bev? we're still in shock that it can do all these amazing things. So basically, we can actually grate and we can slice. So what I'll do is I'm going to show you the slicing function first. So I'm going to put that side of the blade up, pop it into here, and again, we're going to use our modes of cooking, and they've added our where is it? It's hiding. Slicing function. So what I'm going to do now is just put a couple of carrots, a carrot in the chute here, and I'm going to go slice it thinly. Okay, so we've got 2 options: thin or thick. And I'll show you the thickness of that. And then I'm waiting for the arms to open up. Look at that. Look how thin. Hang on. Look how thin that is. Perfect for like salads and that kind of thing. I was with Jen, who's on the call tonight, and we did potatoes today for potato bake. So how good's that? Nice and thin. All right, I'm going to pop this back in and we'll slice again, but we'll go the thick side. I'm just going to put it in. You know, you feel it. You can feel whether it's on, the lid's on properly. All right, so now we're going to go thick, and I'll show you the difference. I'll tell you that the lid's not on. What have I done? Is there a piece of carrot or something for? It really is easy to use, trust me. It's just because I
just had something stuck. But how amazing and quick and potato bakes be made with fraction.
All right, so now we're going to go thick. So thick is awesome for potato bakes. That quickly, seriously, such a time saver. And I'll show you the thickness of it. So in comparison, I can't see it because it's up too far. So this is our thick, and this is our thin. How good is that? So this is perfect for your potato bakes. This is perfect for your potato chips. You know, when you're doing oven baked chips, there's recipes on Cookie Do for that if you're interested in doing that kind of thing.
Can we have a quick peep inside the bowl? So we can see what it looks like in there. Oh no, not that. Sorry, not the bowl. The insert. Yes, that looks great. Amazing.
All right. So now what I'm going to do is actually put the other side up. I'm just going to get rid of that little bit of carrot. Don't want to cut myself on screen, but and we're going to grate. So I've just turned the blade over in it, and we'll go back to our modes of cooking, and we're going to go into the grating. So I'm just going to pop this in the chute grating, and there's a thick and a thin with the grating as well. So we'll do the thin first. I like this for things like salad sandwiches. This is perfect. It looks just like what you would get if you went to a salad bar for the sandwich, for a sandwich. Look at that. Beautiful. Would also be good for your hash browns. So that's the thin. Now we'll do the thick. So I'll pop that in. And we're going to do the thick. Just going to gently hold this. You don't have to push it. You just put a little bit of weight on it. And I'll show you the thick grate, which I use for cheese. I don't know what the other ladies use, but that's what we use for the cheese here at our house. Did I do it thin again? I've done it thin again. Girls, 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 I'm having a great one. Give me 1 second, I'll get another carrot.
All right, Clara, you just did a live before this, and you've been working all day, so now you're allowed to be.
I'm allowed to make a mistake on
Absolutely. It's 8:20. It's all good.
It's all good. I just don't want to go over time. So we want to go thick. Beautiful. Much better. All right. Really, really quick. Really, really easy. And I'm going to show you. So this is your thick grates. Can you see that? So that you could use that in stir fries, and then that's your thin. How good's that? So you could use this for cheese. You could use this for, I like to use this sort of size. I do in stir fries. So, but it would be perfectly fine for a salad as well. Look at all that carrot.
You need to make a carrot salad now, Clara.
That, or I'll just put it in a carrot cake.
Carrot cake, yeah, absolutely. And thank you for showing us the an amazing cutter.
That's all right. And how can you get a cutter at the moment?
Yeah, who can tell us how you can get a cutter at the moment? Does anyone know?
They don't want to come off mute.
Come on, there must be one person here that can tell us how to get a cutter. Tyler, Bev, do you want to share? Oh, who was that?
By hosting, it's Donna.
Hi, Donna. So at the
No, we've lost her.
No, can't hear you, Jet. You there? We've lost Nat. What you can get by hosting is your opportunity to grab a second bowl, blade and lid set for $99 if someone purchases at your demo. So that's our host gift at the moment. But to get your hands on the amazing cutter, you need to be a TM31 customer that is trading up, I should say. I was going to say upgrading, but trading up to the TM6. And if you do that, you will get the cutter as a gift from Thermomix. Unfortunately, at this stage, that's the only people that can receive a cutter. We will have them on the mix shop later in the year. We just don't know an exact date. They pretty much stock's coming in and they're walking out the door with the TM31 trade ups. So yeah, we're really excited because it is like a phenomenal accessory to our TM6s. And
I'm back. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. It got stuck on mute and I couldn't get the button off. So I'm really sorry. But yeah, no.
You
But
can
there
also
is one, there
earn,
is one more way to earn the cutter.
you can earn it with 3 sales.
Absolutely, Eve. Yes.
Eve
Yes.
goes top of the class.
Yeah, so that's going to be my next little segment. Now, you know, as much as the Thermomix is an amazing product and it can really save you time and, you know, we can eliminate preservatives. It can save you money in the kitchen. Your grocery bill can be halved by owning a Thermomix and investing in a Thermomix. We also have a great opportunity with our business. Now, the cost of living is going up. Mortgage rates and interest rates are going up. Mortgages are going up. Interest rates are going up. And people are really reaching out to us to find out a little bit more about job opportunities offered at Thermomix. So I wanted to really quickly just share a small snippet of just what some of our consultants are earning as Thermomix consultants. Now, we have a great information session that we run every Tuesday night. For anyone that is interested in earning a little bit extra money on the side, or you know, if your interest rates have gone up so much on your mortgage, just want to earn a little bit more to be that buffer, Thermomix can be a great little extra side hustle for you. So we've got consultants that are selling 3 Thermomixes a month and earning about 1,020, and that's just by selling machines. That's not taking into consideration all the other incentives that Thermomix offer them, as well as mix shop commissions. Now, if you wanted to ramp that up and sell 7 Thermomixes a month, you could have the opportunity of earning yourself $2,750 per month. And then if you really wanted to make a great go of it and sell up to 11 Thermomixes a month, you have that opportunity to start to earn yourself $4,500 per month. So look, this is just figures based on an average current commission table, but you can see, you know, whether it's 3 sales or 11 sales, the possibilities are really endless with Thermomix. So I wanted to share that snippet because I think it's really, really important because currently, you know, we do have a lot of people that are struggling with the cost of living, and we have great opportunity for you to jump on board and do exactly what we're doing. And we're always looking for new consultants and new people. And you don't have to be an amazing cook. You don't have to be an expert on Thermomix. We teach you all that. But we have lots of fun. And what we're really doing is finding again back to face, doing a lot of that face-to-face connection again, because that was something that was really big for Thermomix prior to COVID. Went into that online space, and then now we want to get back out and really see our people and bring them along to our face-to-face cooking classes, have fun, get them touching and feeling that Thermomix, get them playing with the cutter and really enjoying themselves at our cooking classes. So look, if you know, you'd like to find out a little bit more about the business, stay on. I'm happy to have a chat to you, or reach out to the person that invited you to this class tonight. If you are a non-owner and you might be inspired tonight to purchase a Thermomix, let us know, let the person know that invited you. And if you are a TM36 owner and tonight's the class that has made you go, yes, I want a TM6, let us know, or let the consultant know that invited you. That's about it for our class tonight. If you've got any questions, please stay on. We're all happy to answer any questions that you might have, or send us an email or pick up the phone and support. I will be sending out a follow-up email after the class tonight. I will send you the links to the glasses, the jars that Deb was talking about. I'll also send you some other links, and then you've got a connection as well. So thank you so much for coming on tonight. We said we'd keep it short and sharp to an hour. We're 2 minutes away from that hour. So thank you. We hope you found this useful. And please share with your consultants what you've been cooking, and if you haven't tried those dishes, please do so. We'd love to see them. So like I said, I'm going to stay on, and please have a chat to me if you'd like to, and a few of us stay on until the end. So thank you. Have a lovely weekend, And we hope to see you again at one of our cooking classes. Thank you, guys.